Welcome, 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 as they say on Sundays, to the topic where we highlight Houston Community College, our students, our programs, and our reach into the community. I'm your host today. My name is Parrish Murphy, and today we are giving you an update on Central College. First up, we're joined by Ken Williams of Green Resources and Opportunities Workforce, better known as GROW. Ken, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Now, tell us a little bit about GROW and your upcoming Growth Fest at Central College.
So GROW stands for Green Resource and Opportunities Workforce, and we're a national coalition of both public and private institutions that are driving BIPOC representation in the green economy. And our flagship program is GROW Fest, which will be happening April 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at HCC Central Campus. And we will have a number of different green jobs, paid training opportunities, as well as live demonstrations and exhibits that connect with the green economy. So we hope to have everyone come out and join us for this magnificent event.
That is great. Now, we hear a lot about green and how green is so much better. Can you just describe to me, why is green better and why is it more efficient than what we're doing right now?
So green is better because it provides a more safer and clean environment for our communities. Houston is the energy capital of the world, and think about some of our communities here in Houston, such as Third Ward, Sunnyside, that have a number of different climate issues, such as air pollution. So being involved with green jobs, you not only have a way to provide economic opportunity for your family, but also the community that you live, work, and play in.
That's good. Now, why is HCC such a good fit for GROW?
Well, first off, I am an HCC alum, a graduate from HCC programs, but also HCC is in every nook and cranny of Houston. We love to make sure that we partner with strategic partners that allow us to eliminate the barriers for our participants to engage in our programs, such as transportation. And we love the fact that HCC has a campus in every single community across the greater Houston area.
Yeah, we're a little bit of everywhere. That's always a good thing. Now, speaking about green, how big is the market for green companies here in Houston? I know we're an energy capital, but I mean, what does that trend look like realistically?
So right now, even with the IRA, which is the Inflation Reduction Act, there are a number of different funding opportunities that has allowed major corporations to invest in green and clean technology that has opened up millions of jobs in this particular sector. So anywhere from entry-level jobs all the way to mid-professional or seasoned individuals, there's an opportunity for you to engage in this economy with a green job.
Great. Now, will we lose existing energy jobs based on green jobs? How will that how will the changing of the guard work? Will it be something where people are going to lose jobs and they have to relearn how to do a trade? How will that work?
No, not at all. Most of our traditional sectors right now has transferable skills into the green economy. So it's all about how to identify the skills that you currently have and how that relates to a green job. Case in point, let's just say there's a retail person who has been working in retail for the last 5 to 10 years. Those specific skills can be transferable to, let's just say, a sales position at a green, within a green company or a renewable energy company. So again, some of these jobs do have transferable skills that you already have within your wheelhouse.
Right. Okay. Now, do you find that potential employees today value a company with more green objectives, or are people even, I guess, for lack of a better term, not socially conscious, but are they green conscious?
I would say that especially the younger generation is definitely more green conscious than I would say that my generation, which I am a millennial, they are focused on highlighting and prioritizing their values. And some of the young generation definitely are prioritizing their values when it comes to having a safer, clean environment. So they are prioritizing green jobs that will allow for them to maximize their influence and passion around, again, a renewable energy, but also provide economic opportunity with a green job.
That's great. Now, if someone can't attend Growth Fest, I know it's a big thing for you guys, how can they connect with you and just get a part of some of the things that you guys have to offer?
You can follow us on all social media channels at grow_HTX, or again, at Green Resource and Opportunities Workforce on Google. So again, we're very easy to connect with on social media, but also on email as well at grow@kenempowers.com.
Great. Now, Ken, how did you get associated with, with all of these green resources and opportunities workforce?
So I always say that the reason why Grow was even founded was because of my own lived experience, especially with my family. My grandmother, I always give the example and experience of my grandmother, never learned how to read, write, or drive a car up until the day she died, but she owned 3 homes and 2 businesses. And one of those businesses was a community garden. Not only did she feed her own family, but her community as well. So it was a viable business that allowed for them to have access to high quality, clean food, but also provide economic opportunity for our family that allow us to build generational wealth. So that is what Grow is all about. How do we find out what are our traditional skills that we have within our wheelhouse, and how do we translate that to innovation that provides economic opportunity for ourselves individually, but also collectively for our community?
What's the fight that you have with this? Because there's a fight. Anytime there's a transition from going from one source of energy to replacing that, what's the biggest fight that you have with this?
I would say it's centering people. I'm a people advocate, but right now there's a lot of focus on technology, innovation, products, and services. But I'm always making sure that we are centering people and making sure that people are first within this transition, and how these new technologies and innovations will impact our everyday lives. Just think about how the internet has really transformed the way that we connect and engage with each other on a day-to-day basis now. This will happen with the renewable energy as we transition to a more clean economy. So again, when we focus on identifying and prioritizing people's experiences with these new innovations, we will better have a more equitable energy transition across the globe.
Great. Now, what platforms are you using to educate people and just give them a better understanding of exactly what it is that you guys are doing?
So right now, again, we are on all social media platforms. We're always showcasing and highlighting green jobs on all of our social media channels. So if you're looking for a entry-level green job right now as we speak, you can always connect with us on our social media channels. We're always highlighting new green jobs, not only here in Houston, but remote jobs that you have access to, not only here in America, but across the globe.
That sounds good. Now, before we get out of here, one more time, let everybody know about Growth Fest and how they can participate.
Yeah, so Growth Fest is April 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in HCC Central Campus. We will have a number of different green jobs from Clearway Energy, Patent Energy, Waste Management, Burns and McDonald. So we will love to have you all come and out, have fun with us, participate, but also learn about green jobs and how this can provide a number of different economic opportunities, not only for yourself, but your family.
Great. Before we get out of here again, give me some examples of some green jobs. I mean, because if someone, like, I have no idea what a green job is. I've been in television for 33 years, in radio. What is a green job?
So for the traditional green jobs, people mostly think about like being a solar panel installer or a wind turbine technician, but there are a number of different green jobs that do not allow you to be outside. Again, as I said, there are sales jobs, project management, business development, all these jobs that offer traditional transferable skills that we need to make sure that we have a more green economy. So if you are a great communicator, this is a great platform for you to engage with green jobs, because we always need communication specialists, even again, social media strategists. These are ways to engage and communicate to the public at large about what the green jobs are, but also what does a green economy means for not only Houstonians, but also America.
And I don't have to be outside in the grass, huh?
No, you do not. No, you do not. Not at all.
You're not gonna have me in these streets like this, are you?
Not at all. And I'll add this, because I always say that I'm a master of none. I am an HCC alum, but I graduated from UT Austin, and my degree is in government. So again, that does not, in layman's terms, that does not connect to green jobs at all. But again, I come to this sector from a government relations standpoint, and how do we start to implement policy that affects everyday people's lives, that again, creates a more cleaner economy, but also a community that everyone can thrive in.
Do you think that this will be a smooth transition?
There's never a smooth transition, but again, it's all about how do we start to collectively come together to engage and coordinate in a more equitable way.
It sounds absolutely great. This gentleman's name is Ken Williams of Green Resource and Opportunities Workforce. better known as GROW. Ken, it's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for the information. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take care, kid. And when we come back, we will take a virtual trip at HCC Central's Art Gallery.
Sometimes what you need just shows up. Houston Community College has your back, whether you're knocking out some basics or upping your game for a better job. Enroll today for spring classes and frame your future with HCC.
For more than a year, we have kept you informed with more than 500 remote episodes. But now we're back, bigger and better with more news and more guests. Join us live every weekday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on HCC TV at noon and 5 p.m. You can watch from anywhere. We go where you go.
Welcome back to the topic. Today, we are visiting Central College. Joining us from the gallery in Central's Fine Arts is Katherine Rhodes Fields to discuss her exhibition of works inspired by her recent sabbatical to Greece. Katherine, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Doing well, Parrish. How are you?
You know, there are worse places to go than Greece.
Right.
So before we get started, what made you choose Greece to go on your sabbatical?
Well, it was the opportunity that presented itself, but the real reason is that in conceptually and as objects in my art making, I have used the pomegranate fruit. And so because of the ties that the pomegranate fruit has to Greek mythology, as well as Greek culture, it presented itself as a wonderful opportunity to revisit that image in my art making and in the concept. So that's what drew me to it. Yeah.
Now, what relationship does the pomegranate have to Greek mythology?
Well, the original myth is the myth of Persephone, and Persephone is a goddess that is the daughter of Demeter and Zeus, and she was abducted by Hades, who is the god of the underworld, and was made his bride. And while she was in the underworld with Hades, because she was still alive, she was not of the dead, she was hungry, and so she ate 6 seeds of the pomegranate fruit. And so as the myth goes, her mother, Demeter, who is the goddess of the harvest, missed her and couldn't find her. And so she traveled the world looking for Persephone. And while she was doing it, she wasn't tending to the harvest or making things fruitful. And so finally, when Persephone was discovered in the underworld, she was brought back up. But Persephone had broken the rules of the gods, which was that she ate a food while she was in the underworld. So in a sense, this myth explains the seasons, right? So for the 6 seeds that she ate in the underworld, that represents the 6 months of fall and winter. And then for the 6 seeds that she did not eat, so to speak, she stays on earth with her mother, Demeter. So it's a way that myth talks about seasons, but using it in relation to the gods, but also to how they perceived relationships. And so academic studies, as well as in Judeo-Christian religion symbology, the pomegranate fruit has held a lot of meaning, primarily for fertility, but also resurrection. And also too, the pomegranate fruit also represents the womb of a woman. And so I was using all of those things in conjunction, but also to the fruit itself is quite beautiful. It has beautiful color. It's also exotic. It's not native necessarily to many regions of the United States. So it presented an opportunity for dialogue between the art and the viewer. Yeah. So
now, while on sabbatical, what were your planned objectives and did you achieve them?
Yeah, so my planned objectives were to be the printmaker in residence at the Scope Art Foundation in Skopelos, Greece. And while I was there, I intended to collaborate with international artists that were also there, but also to apply innovative techniques into printmaking. And as you can see behind me, these are some results of some of the innovative techniques that I applied to my traditional printmaking skills. And so what I did for innovation was I actually incised plexiglass plates using a machine. It's a Cricut machine, but it's an engraving machine, very similar to the ones that we have at our at like the West Houston Institute, all right, our CNC router machines, and all of our different maker spaces we have. Because I was thinking, how could I bring my students into these maker spaces and think about technologies and innovations that they could bring, and the skill sets that they learn from their digital media classes, their photography classes, into the printmaking classes, so they can continue to build on those skill sets. So I presented that opportunity for myself in this space, and then brought back the results to the exhibition so students and faculty could see what I was able to succeed while using these different techniques.
Great. Now, what were some of the cultural differences that you have to deal with being from America and going to Greece? What were some of the cultural changes that you had to deal with?
Yeah, one of the largest ones was that the town where I was, and the island where I was, the town went to sleep during lunch. So there were no businesses, there were no pharmacies, there were no banks really open during the siesta time. So it was a little different because here in America, everything's open 24/7 all the time. So that was one of the major cultural differences that I had to get used to. And what I did was I just embraced the siesta and napped myself, or I went to the beach and napped on the beach. So that was one of the main cultural differences, is the pace of life in Greece. The other was, of course, because of the climate. It was how people changed their clothing, and also the way that they responded to air conditioning and other things that we take for granted here in Texas. That was another cultural difference. The electricity was not consistent, so you had to be a little self-reliant in keeping yourself cool and being kind of mindful of your electrical usages. But those are the big things that kind of stand out to me in that way. But fortunately, because in the print shop, all of the machinery in the print shop is all manual, and I had access to these big windows that allowed the cool breeze from the Aegean to blow over me, I didn't worry about missing electricity at all. So I was able to work very comfortably and be very successful in my endeavors in that capacity.
Got to be resourceful, Kat. Got to be resourceful.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, those kind of things, I've learned that when you deal with those kind of things, it tends to tap into the resourcefulness of most individuals, because when you're hot, you want to be cool. I definitely understand.
Exactly. Yeah, and the resourcefulness too. I mean, a lot of because I actually was able to interact with a lot of international artists there on the island of Skopelos, but also artist residents. And it was really quite impressive how innovative we were. I mean, we were coming to an island or a residency where we didn't know really what to expect. And we were able to embrace that kind of chaos and that unknown, right? And develop our own sense of self, and created a community where we were able to successfully create works of art within a response to that. I mean, I met musicians. I met a monk that threw pottery and painted. I also met established potters and painters, tattoo artists. I mean, it was a wonderful 6 weeks that I spent there, not just visiting museums, but also getting to meet my contemporary artists, people that are artists working at the same time as me in this beautiful cultural space. It was really amazing.
Oh, that's cool. Now, what outcomes or benefits resulted from your sabbatical leave award for you personally as well as professionally?
Yeah, well, professionally for HCC and for our students, I think that giving me the opportunity to do this research makes me a better professor. It also makes me a better administrator, because I'm able to kind of view things and address things in a way, thinking about equity and accessibility, and looking and being a part of different cultures and having those conversations and bringing all of that back to my practices in the classroom, curricular-wise, as well as an administrator. Being more globally minded, I think that helps all of us to see bigger pictures. A lot of times I feel very focused on my work and a little funnel vision in what I'm doing. But having that time to step back and look at the work that we're doing here in the visual arts program at HCC gave me an opportunity to step back and look at the work that I'm doing and being more globally minded and focused on these opportunities and things that I can bring back. So that was one thing that I think really is going to help me in my position here at HCC. But personally, what it did for me was, as chair, a lot of my work has been focused on HCC, the program, and our students. Student success and also to equity and accessibility has been my main priority as chair. But having this opportunity allowed me to step back from that and take a moment to think about, because I'm an artist, I'm a teacher, I'm a professor, I'm an administrator, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm all these things. But one thing I really am through all of it is I'm an artist, I'm a studio artist. And so this gave me the opportunity to go back to the studio, because I had been away from the studio, during the pandemic. And also prior to that, in this administrative role, there were lots of different things I was shuffling. We were all working together to make it work, but I really didn't go in the studio and make art like I wanted to. So this really gave me the opportunity to, it was very quick and fast, but I was able to go in there and make a lot of work. And I was very productive. In the exhibition here at Central Campus, I have 38 works that are framed and presented that are on view. Now, this is not all the work that I created while I was there. I created approximately 75 images. Some were in editions and some were monotypes or monoprints. But in that 6-week span, I created about 75 or so printed works or impressions, but I also was able to create a photo kind of gallery or stockpile where I can continue to make work from those experiences as well. So I was extraordinarily productive, and I'm grateful for that. So that's how it impacted me. But also, too, I made friends that I will continue to interact with. And also, too, the founder of the foundation and the director of the foundation, they asked me to serve as an advisory board member. So now I'm part of the foundation itself. I'm helping the foundation to find other printmaking artists and helping them through those processes and support them as an advisory board member. So that's another wonderful opportunity for me professionally, is to stay connected to that community of artists.
That is absolutely outstanding. Once an artist, always an artist, Katherine.
Exactly. Can't take it away.
Absolutely. Now, really quick, I got about 30 seconds before we have to get out of here. What do you hope audiences will gain from seeing your work that you created while on your sabbatical?
Well, the work that I present in this show is what I like to refer to as vanitas. The type of art is vanitas, where you look at an object and it makes you think about yourself and life and death and the cycle of life, because these are fruits and that are in different stage of rot, right, or just fruits themselves, and we think about food, but they're in a stationary point in their existence. I'm hoping that the audience, as they come in, as they look through the body of work, that they're mindful of themselves and their place in the world, and maybe think about the myth of Persephone and how mythology and stories, right, it's continual storytelling. The ancient world is just as relevant as it is today. And going on these journeys and revisiting the past is very important for us, especially to maintain a really relevant future. Whether you're an artist or a non-artist, I think it's really important for us to reflect on history, reflect on myth, and reflect on storytelling as it applies to us culturally and personally.
That's great. She is Katherine Rhodes Fields, and you can see her work at the gallery at Houston Community College's Central Fine Arts Center. Katherine, thank you so much.
Thank you, Parrish. Good to see y'all again. Thanks.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
And thank all of you for joining us here on The Topic. For information on the topics we discussed, go to hcc.edu/podcast. Once again, that's hcc.edu/podcast. And I know you have other alternatives in your viewing pleasure. We are truly grateful that you chose us here today at HCC TV. For The Topic on HCC TV and all of the talented people who helped put this informative program together, I am Parrish Murphy. We'll see you next time.
Sometimes what you need just shows up. Houston Community College has your back, whether you're knocking out some basics or upping your game for a better job. Enroll today for spring classes and frame your future with HCC.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Where is your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing.